What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we are going to go over why now is the prime time for you to get into a Corvette. Anyway, you guys know that I've been talking about getting a C5 Corvette for the longest time, and if it wouldn't be for that my LB7 Duramax needs injectors, I would be in one right now. I would have my Duramax, my lifted Wrangler, my 3rd gen Camaro build, and a C5. What I'm going to explain to you guys today is why now is the prime time to get into a C6 or a C7 Corvette. Now, as many of you guys know, unless literally you live under a rock,
Ready, I'm ready.
Hey, SpongeBob! You're going the wrong way!
mid-engine Corvette was released last week. I stayed up, honestly, man, the show technically started at 10:50 p.m. for me. I was up past midnight. I had to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I was like, dude, this is once in a lifetime situation. This is so huge for GM that I was like, as being a Chevy owner and somebody that loves GM products, and I've always loved Camaros, I have, like I said, a Duramax, I felt like I needed to watch this, even though I don't have the money, unfortunately, to go out and buy a C8 Corvette as much as I want to. It's just not logical for me. And I think a lot of people are going to be in the same boat. You know, yes, you have your people that, we've heard from YouTubers, Street Speed has locked in his. TJ Hunt has talked about getting one. There are so many YouTubers that are going to jump into getting a mid-engine Corvette that it's honestly, it's going to open the door to a lot more things for more people. Now, as somebody who has been wanting to get a C5 on my channel because it would have been freaking awesome to have a C5 on this channel, it will happen eventually, and who knows, maybe I'll get a C6 or a C7 someday, but now is the prime time to go ahead and look at getting a C6 and a C7, because ultimately what is going to happen is you're going to have a lot of guys that didn't put a whole lot of miles on their C6 and even their C7 that are going to be trading them in. And quite frankly, a lot of dealerships are just going to kind of hey, let's get this thing out of here. And we heard it specifically through Street Speed's video that some dealerships, especially the ones that, get the tickets to, get the C8 on their dealership, for every C7 that they sell, they get a ticket. At least that's what I kind of comprehended from his video. You can get a C7 at such a ridiculously low price right now because they're trying to get those tickets to get C8s, because the C8s are going to be selling like hotcakes, starting at $60,000. Now, I know a lot is going to be added on to that. You can easily spec out a $60,000 Stingray and make it an $80,000, $90,000 Stingray, which, granted, yes, and myself personally, I don't need all the top-of-the-line stuff, and especially if it's not in the budget for something like that. If I was rolling a dough, obviously I would get the best of everything that I can, but I am not in that situation. So people that aren't necessarily big on, dropping the $60,000 on a new C8 Corvette, you can find yourself in a C8. Really? Right off the bat, you're starting with $5,000 savings off of a brand new C7, which is insane. That, truthfully, is kind of like a good incentive to lose money but make money, especially for these dealerships, because they might lose $5,000 off of this Stingray, which they already have the price elevated to begin with. They're really not losing that much, especially if they're getting a C8 in. And if majority of the C8s that are going to go through these dealerships, a lot of these people are going to custom order. So they're going to make more money on the end deal, which is, it's crazy. The amount of people and the amount of interest in this C8, it's insane. Now that kind of brings me to why it might be a negative for all of these YouTubers to go out and buy a C8. Everybody's going to end up doing the same thing. Most likely, everybody is going to go out, get this Z51 package, and just deck it out. They're going to start modifying it, but they're really going to be very similar in the same ways that every single person that gets one makes these videos. Yes, is it going to pop right out the gate? Is it going to make your channel grow? Absolutely. But it's going to hit a dead point. It is going to hit a dead point. I don't know how long it is going to, drag out where people are like, dude, I want to see this C8 in action. I want to see this C8 on the drag strip. I want to see it doing this. I want to see it doing that. But I feel like eventually, until the Z06 comes out, it's just kind of going to go skyrocket and then kind of dwindle out. Now, the crazy thing is, if you're somebody that's got a smaller channel like myself, you can go out, you can literally pick up a C5, manual C5. It might have a little bit higher mileage, around 150,000 miles, but you can pick up a manual C5 for like $7,000 to $11,000, which is nuts. Then on top of it, you can turn around and you can go get a C6, and I've seen them go as low as 13, that's remarkable. To find yourself, now obviously it's not a Z06, it's just going to be a coupe, but regardless, you're going to start with that LS platform, whether you have the LS2, the LS3, or the LS7. You are going to be in a nice platform to where if you want to drag race, you want to have drag racing on your channel, you want to do something that's been done before but have your own little twist to it, buy those old Corvettes. Because truthfully, you're not spending the same amount of money, obviously, as getting a C8, but you're still going to be able to produce good content for your channel. Plus, seriously, like, myself personally, I've never owned a Corvette. So to get myself into a C6 or a C7 right out the gate, for me it would be more logical to get a C6 or a C5. That it would help my channel, especially to like kind of make growth go faster. Like I said, I think it's going to get sour after a little bit, because look at it now. You type in C8 Corvette and even the release video, and I'm guilty of it. I recorded the release video and I posted it. There are thousands of people that posted that video, and there are thousands of people stating on YouTube that they are also going to buy the car. So I feel like you're going to go from the C8's released, it's going to be awesome, but then you've got multiple thousand YouTubers building on the same exact platform. Yes, everybody's going to have their own little twist. Everybody's going to have different things. People are going to rap it different ways. They're going to do crazy different stuff. But like I said, I think it's going to hit like that sour point where if you can go out and get a C5 or a C6 for the cheapest that you possibly can, because like I said, people are going to be trading them in. People are going to be trying to private sell them because they want to use that money as a down payment. Especially if you have some old guy that, like I said, bought a C6, didn't put a whole lot of miles on it, but he wants to sell a super clean, not beat on C6 for 20 grand. Dude, you're getting a steal. As for my channel, as much as I would love to, timing-wise, it just doesn't make sense for me to do it. Timing-wise, it does not make sense for me to jump into another sports car, especially something that I know, like, if I bought a C5, C6, or C7 right now, I would want to dump so much money into it. So much money to where I would run myself dry. I have a family. I have 2 kids, 2 beautiful little kids, a little boy and a little girl. I have things that I need to take care of, obviously, and buying another sports car is not one. Having my 3rd gen junkyard Camaro build, you guys have showed a lot of interest in that build, and I think it's going to be something that, like I said previously, that will eventually become a giveaway vehicle. Once we get to the point where I'm like, hey, let's sell Snussy Copen merch, and dude, the car's done. Let's get it going. Let me give it back to one of you guys. I love Camaros. I've always been a Camaro guy. I like Corvettes. I've never owned a Corvette. I have owned 3 Camaros, never owned a Corvette. That's not saying that I'm biased towards Camaro over Corvette, because honestly, I know I'm going to like the Corvette. So that is one of the goals for my channel at some point, is to get myself into a Corvette, but do things maybe a little bit differently than people have done before. And, a lot of that has to do with quality content. Moral of the story, guys, if you guys are looking to get into a Corvette and don't necessarily have the money to go out and get a C8, the C6 and the C7, if in your price range, are an excellent vehicle to get yourself into. And like I said, you're going to get them at a discounted rate. So if this was your first time watching a video on my channel, guys, I hope you give this video a big thumbs up. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button down below. When you guys subscribe, obviously that helps getting a new subscriber. When you guys like the video, that helps so much more than what you guys realize. I've talked about it in a lot of my previous videos. We have doubled in subs this year. We're probably about 250 shy, a little less than 250 shy of 3,500 subs. We have grown pretty rapidly this year. I'm not saying that I expect the end of the year to be at 5,000, but that is my goal, truthfully. And I think as a team, as a channel, we can do it. And, one of my biggest things is I want to get myself to the point where eventually it's not just about me building a car. It's more of, hey, I've got this fan base. I have these subscribers that are so into what I'm doing. They appreciate me making these videos, because trust me, I know exactly what it's like to post a bunch of videos, and you can spend 10, 11 hours on a video and then end up with 50 views or 100 views. But then there's other videos that I've had where I half-ass threw something together and it got 20,000 views. I don't understand it necessarily. I don't get kind of how YouTube works, and it's been 2 years of me doing this, because like I said, there are certain videos that I have so much more views, so much more watch time, but the revenue off of it is next to nothing, which is crazy. But then I have a video that has a fourth of the views and the watch time, but it made more money. It just doesn't make sense. And I think a misconception that I get specifically on Instagram is I think people believe that this is my job. This is not my job at all, honestly. And this is me speaking 100% truth and from the heart. I make enough on YouTube a month to fill my wife's Jeep Wrangler for about 4 days. Just being completely honest. And I'm okay with that. My point of having this YouTube channel isn't necessarily to, make massive amounts of money. My goal is not to be rich. My goal is to be able to provide you guys with entertainment, see my builds and the different things that goes on in my life, and just kind of grow with me, understand who I am, what my purpose is, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and just kind of being along for the ride. And eventually, if it comes down the road where I start making more money and I'm able to invest money, more and more money into different builds and stuff like that, I want to be able to give that back to you guys. And that's one of those things where it's I've spent, like I said, 2 years, over 200 uploads for less than 3,500 subs, and I don't regret that. I know it's a long process, and truthfully, some people get severely lucky where they have one video and they just boop, they explode. And then there's other guys that have posted hundreds upon hundreds of videos and they still haven't crested 5,000 subscribers. I'm hoping, like I said, that by the end of this year we end up hitting 5,000 subscribers. That would be freaking awesome, to be honest with you guys, just because it shows the support and that there are people out there that don't just appreciate the big channels because they're big. There are smaller channels that are putting in just as much effort, if not more effort, into their channel to try to make an impact on people and to try to be able to help people out. I do a lot of tutorial videos where I explain hey, when I took the fender flares off of my truck, I explained how to do it. When we did the Jeep build, I went through step by step and kind of explained everything with the Jeep build. And, sometimes, like I said, some of the videos get good views, some of the videos don't get good views. And, it's not necessarily about that anymore. I've kind of gotten over the fact that it's going to happen when it's going to happen. There's going to come a point where I'm going to wake up one morning and it's oh, you gained 60 subscribers last night. What? You know what I mean? And it's an exciting thing to do, and I will say it is tough sometimes, to just pick up the camera and record, because even 2 years into it, I still get uncomfortable sometimes, recording, and you feel weird sitting there recording yourself talking. And honestly, I will sit there and I'll be like, man, this video is gonna be I don't know, I feel like people are gonna hate it. And then one of the biggest things with YouTube is you get a lot of hate. You truthfully do. There are a lot of haters out there, and that's, unfortunately, people are dickheads. I mean, that's the best way to explain it. Sometimes you just got to turn the other cheek, keep doing what you're doing, keep moving forward, and eventually your time is going to come. Eventually you're going to catch a breakthrough, and eventually you're just going to enjoy what you do, whether you're making money or you're not making money. I'm a firm believer, and it's just like a job. You don't want to be at a job that you hate. You want to be at a job where you enjoy what you do every single day. Sorry to rant there at the end, guys, but I just wanted to kind of let you know where I felt with everything. And like I said, subscribe to the channel, give this video a big thumbs up. If you guys are looking for more automotive content, I do have a 4-door Jeep Wrangler, which is lifted 2.5 inches on 35-inch tires. It's on a 17 by 9-inch Pro Comp wheel, which we'll get into another Jeep update here soon. those of you that watched the last upload. It failed yet again, just so you guys are aware. It failed once again. Something that I knew was going to have to be done eventually, but we'll talk about that in another upload. My LB7 Duramax and my junkyard 3rd Gen Camaro build, which is going to be completely restored. So if you guys are looking for automotive content, subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next one.